Hello and welcome to this class. And we are just going to light on the literary device which has been used in the poem The Tiger by William Blake. Students, you know that to light on literary device has been my important concern when you are talking about a piece of literary work, especially poem. I am of the belief that when we are talking about the poem, we should equally light on the method the poet has taken resort to in composition of his poem. So I am very sure that this might help a student come to the better understanding of the poet's mind and at the same time the theme that poet has presented in the poem. I am Dr. Naveen Kumar Jha, Associate Professor in English, RAGS College, Ahilya Asthan. I first of all want to talk about alliteration, the phonetic device used in this particular poem. We know that in poem sound plays a very significant role in making the poem a memorable one. We understand that the poem is just very importantly talked and discussed on the basis of the what we can call the sound capacity, the way in which sound has been used by the poet. We know that this looks to be so important, so nice to take into account the sound pattern of a poem. Here, the poem becomes different from prose on the basis of the sound use that poet makes. It is just to make the poem rhythmical, and it is just to make the poem just musical that the poet just uses a special sound, and poet tries to use the sound to create just a visual and aural effect on the mind of the reader. So generally we have vowel sounds and consonant sounds. We know that repetition of consonant for creating visual and oral effects. The poet takes help of alliteration. Here we find that either poet tries to repeat the vowel sound at different interval, or the poet tries to repeat consonant sound at different interval with the intention of making an image in the mind of sound image in the mind of the reader, and the visual and oral effect on the reader as well. In the present poem which we are talking, we have several examples of alliteration in line 1 and in line 21. We find the sound bow is repeated in the phrase burning bright. Here it is the initial bow sound of burning and bright which is repeated. And it is just to create intense bright light imitated by fire effect in the mind of the reader. It is just to attribute the emission of fire from the body of the tiger that the poet has used burning bright phrase which is still an adjective phrase with initial ba sound. Likewise, we can find that in the line 4 in 24, we have the repetition of fa sound in fearful and frame. What is the purpose? If you try to find the purpose of repetition of fa sound in line 4 in 24, we find that it is to highlight the ability to create of the creator, of the final creator, who is God, who is capable enough to frame the fearful creature like tiger. So, on the one hand, the poet has intention to make the idea that the poet is capable of framing beautiful tiger on the one hand, and that tiger is fearful also on the other hand. So, this is a very wonderful creation by the wonderful power that is God, and that has been made more effective by the repetition of four consonant in the word frame and fearful. We can find in line 5, dog consonant is repeated in distant deeps. Here we can find that all the examples of alliteration that we have cited so far have initial consonant sound repetition. Here too you find in the word like distant in deeps, we have initial do sound repeated, and it is for creation in an atmosphere of high pressure and heat. We find that creation is actually not a normal activity. It is the activity which is just possibly realized in a very intense atmosphere full with high pressure and heat. If the poet tries to create something, we find that poet is in very much intense mind shape, and the poet is in artistic pressure to just mingle different kind of images to express the idea kept in his brain. So it is a kind of experiment that poet is making in his mind under a very just intense atmosphere of high pressure and heat. So if we consider God to be the creator, we find the same process is to be applied to God also. Here God is also the creator. Okay, God is the greatest creator we have seen so far. However, we can say because he is also passing through the creation of tiger, so he also passes through the same intense atmosphere full with high pressure and heat. So the phrase distant deep have the initial consonant repeated. We may go to last example of alliteration in the 11th line, where you find that ba sound is repeated as in began and beat. It is just to create a pulsating rhythmic sound. So here that is very much purpose to make the rhythm out of the sound, that in 11th line the poet has used ba consonant repeated, and the words are here begin and beat. Now we may come to another kind of just poetic devices that the poet has used here. We find that this poem Tiger has 6 quatrain, and each stanza has 4 lines. So We can say that the first and last quatrains are almost identical. The same idea has been expressed, the same words and phrases and sentences have been expressed or used to make an identical two stanzas. But we can also notice that there is a difference in the punctuation in both the quatrains. And there is also a change of word from could to dare. The poet has here, as just we find the two quatrains use two different words, and he has changed the word could to dare because the poet was in the first quatrain talking about his surprise and wonder at the creation of tiger. He was actually talking about the very much unlimited power of the creator, that is the god. But when we talk about what we can call the last quatrain, we find that no, the poet does not have any doubt in the ability of the creator. We can say that the creator, like God, is daring enough to make this kind of creature. And we find that it is a daring work when just you are making the creature like tiger, which is beautiful but fearsome. It needs dare on the part of creator. And we find that yes, God is the bravest creator who has the power to take all the challenges for creation of tiger and something like that. Now, this is what the difference we notice from could, that who could be the person or the power who can make this kind of surprising element, wonderful creature like tiger, and finally he is referring to the fact that it is all daring activity of God which has resulted in the creation of tiger. Now we can also find that there is a regular rhyming and rhythmic couplets have been used to compose this poem, and all the rhythmic couplets are all due to the structure AABB, that the first two lines are rhymed and third and fourth lines are also rhymed. So we find that the first two lines have the same sounding, and third and fourth lines have also the same sounding. So it becomes the example of a rhythmic couplet that the poet has used here. Now we can also say that in between there are four stanzas. We have already talked about the first and the last quatrain, and just in between there are four stanzas which characterize the creator of the tiger as being daring and brave. Just when he has started the poem, or in the first quatrain, just he is looking at tiger with surprise. In between we find that there are lots of discussion which are referring to the fact that the creator, that is William Blake, is daring enough and brave enough to make this kind of wonderful creation. And finally we can come to the fact that it is just possible by the creator to make this kind of a stanza. And so he comes to that kind of conclusion in the last quatrain. Now we find that creator is God. We can say that there is a one word change between the first and last stanzas. And the writer poet is speaking to the fact that God was not just able to make tiger, he was willing to make that kind of tiger. It is not simply the matter of making the tiger that is the significant thing from the ability point of view of the God. We can say that God has the willing. God wants to make this kind of wonderful and contradictory creature in this world. So what we can say is the fact that this world just has so many just things which are wonderful, and we can say that God is interested in making so many wonderful things. It is just one example that we find, and it is out of the will of God that we find that this world is a wonderful creation of God. So, God wants to introduce fear and danger into the world. We can ask the question that if the God was interested to make this beautiful tiger, why was he interested to create fear and danger in this world? Because to move the world, it was essential on the part of God to introduce fear and danger in the world. If there is no danger, there is no what we can call bitter conflict and a struggle in society and in the world. And if there is no bitter conflict and just a struggle in the society, people cannot show their purusharth. We can find that the history is full with lots of people who have just done daring work living in this world because of the danger of taking risk. So we can say people are just also inviting lots of dangers to prove their purusharth, their capacity. And it is the very interesting game that people are accepting what we can call the challenge and the danger of the world to overcome it and to show and establish the milestone for the people to come. So this should not be just a one color world. Had these things not been introduced, fear and danger, this world have been of one color, and that would have not been looking nice. So, if there is just one color, we cannot make a beautiful painting. This world is a beautiful painting of the God because of different and variant color that the poet has used. And these colors are all just owing to fear and danger that the poet has introduced into the tiger and the people and the life of the people rather. So we can say that it is a classic way of making the world run. We can say it is why the same example is not repeated every day. In every age we find that there are different types of struggles. There are varieties of struggles. There are variety of dangerous things coming before the people to just overcome. It is in this way that God was interested to make the world run. Now we are just coming to meter to discuss. We find that meter has been very much a mathematical aspect of poem. The poet is going to measure the number of syllables that the poet has used, the stressing and unstressing of the syllables, and at the same time the meter pattern. We find when we are maintaining the meter pattern, it is supposed to be the greatest artistic poetic ability of the poet. Now, we are all poet because we are not interested in maintaining the meter of the poem. But how great is the work of Tulsidas, Surdas, and just what we can call Blake and Spencer. all due to the meter. Especially we can talk about Alexander Pope, who has been champion a heroic couplet, that he has fixed the number of syllabi that he is going to use, and there is stressing and unstressing pattern, and we find that throughout the work he has maintained the same kind of pattern. So it becomes rather a very much mathematical work and an imaginative work, both by the poet when he introduces both kinds of things. So a great poet is always talking and making the poem, maintaining the meter and style and metric style into his poem. So here we find in Tiger that trochic tetrament line of 4 feet has been just invented by the poet. We find that in this pattern, or in trochic just a tetrament meter pattern, we find the first level is stressed and the second is unstressed. We have the example here: tiger, tiger, burning bright. So you find that here in tiger, there are 2 syllabi, and we find that tie is the stressed and gur is unstressed. So in burning you find just burn is stressed, ing is unstressed, and in bright we also find that bright is stressed, and lee, brightly, bright is straight, lee is unstressed. And it is in this way we find that the whole line has been divided into 4 sets of 2 syllabi, in which the first level is stressed and second is unstressed. But we also find that this poem has iambic tetrameter pattern also, that there are 4 sets of syllables keeping just what we can call stressed and unstressed and stressed pattern. So in iambic tetrameter, there is a line of 4 feet. That line is divided into 4 feet, in which first level is unstressed and second is stressed. Example we can find in the line 4, 10, 11, 18, and 24. And here just there is a line also: and when thy heart began to beat. Here and is unstressed, when is stressed, thy is unstressed, heart is stressed, be is unstressed, gan is stressed, and two is unstressed, beat is stressed. So here we find that these 2 types of meters have been used, that there are also examples of trochic tetrameter, and there are examples of just iambic tetrameter. And lastly, we are going to talk about the technique of apostrophe. We find that it is just an address word that poet has used, and this address is to tiger. The tiger tiger has been addressed time and again. We find that the poet is just making reference of tiger. He is highlighting of tiger, So there is no narrative movement, The tiger is here just, cannot provide a lyrical eye with a satisfactory answer. We can say that poet himself is not satisfied, although he has tried to come to a conclusive remark to the end of this poem that, okay, this god is a surprise master who has made this tiger and tiger like so many things. But we can say there should not be a stop of contemplation. We can say that through the tiger, the poet tries to say that let contemplation continue. We are not going to say, yes, whatever final conclusion has been drawn, that is final and there is no further contemplation. We should stop thinking now. No, we should observe the world, and at the same time, we should go and talking about our viewpoints regarding the world and so many mystical things which are just before us. So we find that the first stanza opens the central question. That question is here: what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? This is what the question is, that is very much discussed into the first stanza, and direct address to the creature. That is also the example of epistrophe. But this also shows that in the rest of the poem, in all the quatrains, the poet has been trying to just explain tiger, and through tiger and the last contradictory creature, that is lamb, the poet has kept a contradictory view that the poet has adopted to make this world. And it is in this way he has just chosen so many literary devices to compose this poem, that we can very beautifully understand the idea. And I hope that you too have just gone through the idea, and we too have come to the point that poet has intended to draw. Thank you very much.